Okay, we're doing a garden video. Oh wow, and the sun's already blowing stuff out. I thought I would document the chaos because it will be beautiful soon, but it is not now. Um, so yeah, I thought I'd show you the mess before it, the mess prior. So these are things that are just on their own from last year. So it's a sunflower, some kind of mint. I forget. I'll have to taste it. Cilantro up there. Some strawberries, chives, and the bees really like the chive flowers. Can I make those show? Um, yeah, the sun's like right here. Yeah, so the bees really like the chive flowers, so that's nice. Oh, and we have the cat, of course. Bee bath. Some little starts, so carrots and celeries. I guess one carrot singular. Uh, those are peppers, yeah, and some herbs and cucumbers and tomatoes. Sunflowers that are really leggy, but I think if I plant them all the way down to their head, they'll be fine. Calendula. And then this area is where the tomatoes are going in pots. And it was just like this real, it was just off. It's like 7 types of weeds. It's crazy. So I put down cardboard. Well, I weeded it, put down cardboard, and then landscape cloth, and then I put the pots down. Because what happens with the weeds and the dirt is it will grow in through the holes, the weeds, and then the dirt gets like infected. Hi. Hi. I don't know if the word's infected. There's probably a proper gardening term, but it gets all fucked up. So, gonna do what I can to prevent that. These pots are going in today. The dirt is showing up today, so that's always a crazy ass project. Um, Over here, we're gonna have all the greens and stuff. So they just get a little bit of morning sun for maybe an hour, and that's perfect for these types of dudes. Yeah, so they'll be going in pots. There's some marigolds growing in from last year. And then these lettuce were restarts on their own, so they went to seed last year, then they came back. Some more chives. All these crazy weeds, I can't see shit. So yeah, like that's a big ass thistle. What this yard needs is some goats. I know like in rural areas they rent goats, but damn, just like goats for all these damn weeds because it's just craziness. Um, and then chickens, like if those beetles come back, and you'd be like good. But here I am with a cat that doesn't eat greens, so my mom's fairy house. Ugh, trying not to kill myself on these weeds. So yeah, at Spencer Street, I went over and thinned out the lilies. These are tiger lilies. Those are tiger lilies, and the strawberries. And I got a whole car full. I mean, it took like all morning, and I got a whole car full. And I could have done 3 times as much. Oh, hello, hi. So he's like, don't cut down the tall grass that I like. Those are my greens. Yeah, so lilies and strawberries, they just kind of take over. And you do need to thin them, but it's definitely a chore, especially if they're, growing around roses, and you gotta just be careful. And so this one's kind of pissed. Well, they're all kind of pissed. Being transplanted is really difficult. Um, but it's funny because this one has like some strawberries mixed in with it and then some kind of ground cover. So this pot might end up being kind of fun. This is a cat and a raised garden bed. So when you have this many weeds, you just can't have raised beds because it essentially is just really great for the weeds. So you got to cover everything up. I'm going to tape that to the wood, and I think put my fairy garden on top. I was going to show you some raccoon shit. This is fun. So I don't know if you can see the weeds. The weeds are in the way. If you can see how big that is. So the first time I saw it was like maybe a week ago. Oh, and there she goes into the neighbor's yard. And she's off. Oh, did you just break that wood? This fence is really janky, and she'll just like break pieces off of it as she goes through. Ugh. Back to the raccoon shit. So the first day I came out, I saw it was like maybe a week ago or something, and I literally thought like either a human or a dog had broken in the yard and pooped in the yard, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" But it's black. And, when I googled it, I don't think you can see it. I don't know. I just wanted to, for scale, so here's my foot, and that's how big that is. So it's a big damn raccoon. And when I was looking it up, it said that, you know, I'll like film something better than the raccoon shit. It said that once they find a spot, that's their spot. That's where they're going to go. And there's really not much you can do about it. And a part of me panicked because, Sadie like sleeps on the catio a lot in the summer because it's so nice. And, raccoons can break into that kind of stuff. So I'll go over that in a second. So part of me kind of panicked, and then I worked on myself in relation to the fear. And I was remembering that, I do want to be part of the ecosystem, and that includes predators. So I'm just gonna, befriend this raccoon and just be happy that, he feels happy or safe going to the bathroom in the yard. Why are there so many planes? There's been like a lot of planes lately. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's a bee bath. And these are potatoes. And there's one that's growing already. I don't know if I can see it in this. So yeah, one potato sprout's coming up. So that's fun. And these are like potatoes. I'm gonna have to reinforce, let me see if I can make this smaller. I'm gonna have to reinforce the border between this yard and the neighbor's yard because she gets really pissed off about the weeds when they go to flower. And what the fuck is with all these planes? It's weird, like the last couple days I noticed there's been just like a lot more planes at that airport. But yeah, I have to get like a bigger border so that the bindweed doesn't go to flower and blow into her yard, because that's our original fight. But yes, this is an example of, a raised bed versus weeds. And so this bindweed stuff, it's just like, it's so strong, it's crazy. It reminds me of, I think, is that shit called kudzu? That just takes over whole situations. So I guess the roots go down 4 feet, and the whole yard then acts kind of like an aspen forest. And then these are just the different heads. So it doesn't really matter if you pull one, because they're all, well, hello. Nice of you to join us. And how was Jan's yard? Anything good going on over there? No? So you really can't do much besides like literally bring in a backhoe and like dig up 4 feet of dirt, and just start again. I suppose if it was me, I would just cover the whole thing in cardboard and then like a foot of mulch, and that would just maybe choke it down, and then just keep doing that for years and years. And I think eventually it would die, but I think there's gotta be a whole habitat going on in here, right? I'm just like, holy shit, like who lives in there? It's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna cover this with cardboard when I get some more, because I ran out, because there's so much. But yeah, this is this grass. Ooh, this is this crazy grass that's also growing. Sadie likes to eat this part, but it's just like this yard is everything but the actual grass that, people put in their yards. Some kind of bugs over here. The little grasshoppers are out, and they're very cute, but I don't think they're awake yet. But yeah, so raccoon v catio. So I'm going to, also bindweed v catio. So I'm going to, I think today, it's on the list of things to do today. This is new cardboard. That's old cardboard. And I'm going to tape this, like duct tape or Gorilla Tape it to the edge so that the bindweed can't grow through, because it just ends up growing up the whole thing. It's quite prolific. So the bindweed, has to just stay underneath. And then we're gonna, I think, attach a 1x2 over the edge of this. It's called hardware cloth, because I guess raccoons can actually pull it out. They're really strong, and if they think that there's a meal inside of the catio, they'll do whatever they need to do to get it inside, which is just like nuts, because this shit is so. But raccoons are wily. They got hands. And everyone I know that's ever dealt with chickens has lost multiple rounds of chickens to raccoons. And I know people that have lost cats, and it's just, raccoons are nuts. So So we're going to just reinforce that. And then this will be some cucumbers. Oh, these pots are a kind of fun story. Those are going to be peppers there. But yeah, all of these pots I got from a nursery. And actually I'll continue with the pots in a second because the bigger pile is somewhere else. Those are going to be cucumbers. I'm going to go inside the catio. And so I think in like 2 weeks on the docket is to pull all this shit up and then put down new cardboard in here and also tape it to this wood so that the bindweed can't grow through in here on this side. Because it is a neurotoxin for cats. And while Sadie is pretty smart about what to eat, I have lived with cats that are not. So, in case other cats show up, I want it to be safe, but yeah. And I'm going to put some shelves and just kind of start tricking the catio out. I took everything out because, because I'm going to be removing and doing the cardboard, but I have not forgotten about the pots. But these are some of the transplants from Spencer Street. So these are the strawberries that are still kind of trying to get together. I left them in the shade for a day. And some of them are okay, but some are still mad. Some more lilies. That's green from last year. That's a sunflower and maybe some dill. Cat grass. Pots that need things, but there's things that can go in pots, so we're all good. Okay, so more lilies. Now I was going to show you these pots. So when you have a yard like this, you can't do raised bed containers or raised bed gardens because they will just get all, fucked up with weeds and just ugh. So you just do all pots, and that can get really expensive. I don't even know, but like big pots cost a lot of money. And just over the course of time, I've somehow scavenged so many pots. It's really crazy. The original round are these that came from my neighbors at Spencer Street, and they had a big weed operation going on in their basement. Really legit. I was so surprised when I saw it because these people were like proper stoners. I mean, just like, seriously, that's the place that T used to hang out at during the day. It's a different story. But when they moved and shut down their thing, I got all of their pots. So that was like the first big score of these big pots. And then there was a tree place in Eaton, Colorado, which ended up being a really, really far drive, and I wasn't prepared. But they, trees, when they plant trees in people's yards, they start from these things. And so they were getting rid of a bunch of them. So I drove over to Eaton, and these are the 10-gallon pots. And then I have, this neighbor's awesome, but he just went inside. But we're gonna look at his. He makes these cool glass sculptures. I don't know if we can see it. You can't really see it. You can see a bit of a sculpture and a bit of an iris. But he's a glass artist, and holy shit, he's really talented. So trying to peep this iris, fuck. Can't peep the iris anywhere? Really? Oh, here we go. Okay. So yeah, so that's this cool purple iris. I bet you smell really good, but we're not going to break it and start sniffing people's flowers. So these are 15-gallon pots. So if you know like what a Home Depot, shouldn't even mention Home Depot, but if you know what a 5-gallon bucket, that size, this is 3 times that size. So I'll be able to put like 2 or 3 plants, cucumber plants or tomato plants in a pot that big. Huh. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So note on container gardening. That's how I started, 20 years ago, whenever I started gardening properly. And I just had a bunch of little pots on my porch, I think it was. And I started growing salad, and then just over time, you just take more steps and it just becomes a bigger operation. And, Portia used to say that I forget what she used to say now, which is funny, but something along the lines of, it's just all a science experiment. You put a bunch of things in pots and you see what happens, and you just try to tend to them as best you can. Um, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to document the chaos and just, remind everybody that often beauty starts with a mess. You know, this looks ridiculous right now. Not the cat. She doesn't look ridiculous. Yeah, but this is crazy, right? But give it a week and it won't look crazy. And give it a month and it's going to be stunning. It'll be stunning. Yeah. So take the time you need to take. Do you have anything you want to say? Nah, she's like, I'm good. I'm good. All right. Have a good day.